Katie invested a total of $5,000. So she has, the total amount of money she has is $5,000. And she invests part of it at 3% and part at 4%. So this money is split up into one thing that is 3% and one thing is 4%. But you don't know how much of the 5,000 goes to each one of those. At the end of 1 year, so you only have 1 year, the investments that earned that much interest, and we want to know how much is invested at each. So, if I want to know how much is invested at 3%, we can call this one, say, the amount of interest. Let's call this interest 1 and interest 2. So to figure out how much money I'd have to put in at 3%, so I'd have sort of a total, or I'd have an amount of money times, so that's the principal, times by the rate is 3%, times by the time, which is 1 year. They say at the end of 1 year. So times 1. But I don't know how much money that is yet. So the 4% one would be the same thing. So much money at 4% times 1 year. Okay, so that's using this formula here. Okay, but I do know that I have a total of $5,000. So maybe I could throw some variables in. Like here, why don't we call this one X? We could call this one Y, but when you have two variables, then you can't solve for one of them. But if I know a relationship between the first and the second one, which is 5,000, I can sort of jerry-rig this one, or I guess use that 5,000 to write an expression for it. So if I use X amount of this 5,000, then for the second one, I'd be using 5,000 minus whatever I used for the first one. So I can just write that. So the total amount, or the principal that I'll have for the investment 2 is 5,000 minus however much I used in the first one. K times 0.04 times 1. Okay, now using this formula here, I can say, well, the investment at 1 will be this. So times 1 doesn't change it, right? So this will be just 0.03x. This is investment 1. Plus investment 2 will be this one. So it'll be plus 5,000 minus x times 0.04. And the total of that, they say, is $176. All right, now I've got an equation, a linear equation, with only one variable in it, just an x. I should be able to solve for it. So I've got 0.03x. I'll multiply this through. That times that, I think, is 200. Pretty sure it's 200. Minus 0.04x equals 176. Maybe it's 2,000. I should get a calculator. I don't have a calculator nearby. I just checked the calculator. It's 200. Okay, so collecting my x's, I get negative 0.01x equals 176 minus 200. Would that be 24? And then dividing, it would be negative 24. And then dividing both sides by negative 0.01, divide negative 0.01. So when you divide those, this I think will give you 2,400. So $2,400 is how much they invested at 3%. And then if you subtract that from 25,000, so 5,000 minus 2,400 will be 2,600. So 2,600 is invested at 4%, and 2,400 is invested at 3%. Now what you could do is take each of those numbers and plug them back in here, I guess, yeah, there and there. Figure out the interest for each one, add it, and see if you get the 176. That'd be a good way to check it. All right, hopefully that helps you with that question.